Hello and welcome. My name is Tony and I'm here with the Everyday Counts program. I'm so glad that you joined me. I welcome each and every one of you. This time of year, it's challenging at the best of times. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on mentally, emotionally, maybe physically. So, acknowledging that this time of year can often feel overwhelming to all of us, whatever it is that we're living with and going through. So, well done for taking this time for yourself. And with this time of year in mind, as we come into our practice, we'll tune in. And as we keep doing that throughout the class, please give yourself the opportunity to rest where you need to. This is a practice of, well, we're in the chair, but on the mat. But ultimately, this practice is also off the mat. So what we practice here, we can also take into our everyday life. So again, tuning in, letting yourself know just how it is that this moment is going for you, and offering yourself what it is that you need, regardless of what's going on around you. Take everything that I guide you into and out of as a suggestion. You can adjust and adapt everything. You can do less or more repetitions, and you can tweak it and change it to suit your body today. So with a comfortable chair and a little bit of space around us, let's begin. Coming to a comfortable seat for you. And maybe you like the support of the chair behind you, or you want to slide forward on your chair, already starting to engage that center line of the body. We'll root down through our feet. You can pick up the toes if you like, and it doesn't matter if you've got shoes on, socks on. If you want to, you can flex at the ankles, picking up the ball of the feet as well, and give those feet a little bit of a wiggle. Fan the toes out wide, opening up the soles of the feet, and then we'll take the soles of the feet down and flutter the toes down too, nice and lightly. Get a sense of that support underneath them. You can even push down into them if you like, evenly through both feet, waking up the muscles of the legs, and that will ripple up through the core. You might even notice you sit a little taller. And then on an exhale, let that pressure go, so we come back to softness. Take your awareness to your seat where it's connected down to the chair, and you can wiggle and waggle. You can even take the flesh of your seat away from you, so you're sitting higher up onto those sit bones. And then take a breath in when you're ready. Exhale, sit the upper body weight down into your seat. And you can do that a couple of times. Feel free to close your eyes or soften or lower your gaze. And we get that connection once more down to that surface underneath us, just like we did with our feet. Let the breath settle. And from that deep groundedness of the lower body, there's a lifting up through the spine, through the crown of the head. Rolling the shoulders back and down, softly. And then as they settle away from the ears, broadening across the collarbone. Noticing if your shoulders are more or less balanced over your hips. So when either sitting forward or sitting back, our bones stacking one against the other on top of each other, allowing the muscles time to rest as the bones do the work here. You can even draw the chin in, draw the ears back in space somewhat, so the head is over the heart, over the hips. And we'll take a big breath in when you're ready. Keep the shape, let go of tension. And do that a couple of times. Again, soft or lowered gaze or closed eyes. Starting to let any tension and tightness ease away from your body. And when you're ready, we settle the breath back to its own natural rhythm. And then we'll take a moment here and check in. And this is a practice you can do throughout your day. And we notice simply this moment. Again, noticing the support underneath you, the room around you, and your place within that room. Notice how you're feeling today. So emotions that are present. And maybe you're not quite sure what they are. Maybe something's there, but you haven't got a label for it. Or maybe you've got a whole lot of things coming up. Just be aware of it, not being attached to it. Say if you notice the emotion of overwhelm that we were talking about earlier, instead of, oh, I feel overwhelmed, and the story would be because of this and this and this and this, instead just be like, I notice overwhelm. Interesting. With a curiosity, without the story attached to it. And stay there, noticing emotions for as long as feels right for you. And then we'll take our awareness right up into our head and notice the thoughts, the concerns. Maybe we're anticipating something in the future. That thing can be joyful, it could be neutral, it could be challenging for us, and the same thing for the past. Notice with a curiosity without needing to unpack something. For example, oh, I seem to be worried about that event coming up. Interesting. Rather than getting into the event itself. Stay there for as long as you like, and then we'll notice our body. So go inside, and a great way to do this is to close the eyes, lower the gaze, or soften the gaze, and allow your awareness to fill your body as you notice sensations. You might notice very familiar sensations first, or maybe new things arise for you. You might notice tension, discomfort. You might notice some buzzing or inner body energy, or some strength or quietness in some areas. Notice it all. Stay away from the stories as best as you can. And if there's any adjustments you can make in your body to make yourself feel more at ease here, please go ahead. And you can do that at any time. And then we start to notice our breath. The steady rhythm of your breath in your own way. And we find the easiest breath that there is for us. And then consider breathing in and out through the nose. And if that's not easy for you, then stick with that easy breath. And we deepen and lengthen the breath. So we deepen the inhale just a little and lengthen that exhale. But there's no forcing here. It is a gentle awakening and opening of the breath. Especially if it's first thing in the morning, it's often that our breath is quite small and quite tight. So working with whatever breath feels right for you today. There's no wrong way of breathing. That longer, steadier breath now. So we smooth the breath. Smoothing it all the way to the top of the breath and steadying the exhale all the way to the bottom of the breath. And we have a brief pause at the top of the breath and the bottom of the breath. But we're trying to create this cycle of smoothness. Now you can even imagine a literal circle if you like. Often people like to imagine it from the pelvic floor or from your seat, and the inhale comes up through the front of the body to the crown of the head, and exhaling down the back of the body and back down to your pelvic floor or seat. So there's this continuous circle, or you can simply visualize or imagine a circle in front of you, however it suits you, or just that steady breath. And we start to create this Ferris wheel breath. So this slow, steady breath that just continues in your rhythm. Nobody else's rhythm matters. And there might be some areas of the breath that feel less steady to you or smooth. That is why it's a practice. We're not looking for perfect. And if you're finding yourself forcing in particular areas, sit a little back from that forcing so the breath becomes a little easier. We focus on that smoothness, that circular breath, seamless breath. And that's the breath we'll keep coming back to. And if there's nothing else today that you focus on other than smoothing that breath out in that circle as best as you can, that cycle of breath, then that's already a lot of gold there for you. If you'd like to add movement into that, knowing you can always come back to stillness and that circular breath, we root down, feet and seat, and rise from there. So we get a little taller through the spine. Once again, shoulders over hips as we roll them back and down and broaden across the collarbones. Chin draws in, back of the neck is long, and we have that seamless breath. With the tip of your nose, mirroring the seamless breath, will create a seamless circle in front of you with the tip of your nose. Inhaling and exhaling. Those circles in rhythm with your breath. And we watch everything rise and fall. And then at the end of the next exhale, or when it is that you choose, we'll pause and take that round in the opposite direction. As big or as small as circles, as you can blend with that seamless breath, noticing if you need to adjust or adapt the movement. At the end of the next exhale, we'll pause and come back to center. And from there, taking the arms down nice and soft, once again, shoulders more or less over hips. And then seamless breath, and we'll circle with both shoulders up, round, and down, whichever direction you're going in. A great way to notice how this feels in your body is to soften or lower the gaze or close the eyes. Maybe those circles stay the same, get smaller or bigger. Seamless breath, seamless movement as best as you can. And then at the end of the exhale, we'll pause when you're ready and take it round in the opposite direction. Smooth, circular breath, circular movement. Let's take another 2 here. And at the end of that exhale, we'll come all the way back to center. Take the hands in soft fists and we'll rotate through the wrists. Slower than you think. So 1 cycle of breath to 1 circle of the wrists. And then when you're ready, we'll pause and take that round in the opposite direction. At the end of that exhale, we'll pause and come back to center. Big breath in. exhale it out. Taking the hands into heart center. And for this, if you want to, you can walk your legs a little further apart. Take a breath in. On the exhale, we're going to interlace the hands and take them down. Keep the hands interlaced. Inhaling, drawing the palms up. Now elbows bend is going to ease through the shoulders. When you come to the top of that cycle of breath, palms come towards each other and we take the breath down. So creating a circle. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. Pushing the palms down and away from you and up towards the ceiling. And again, this does not have to be a big movement. Keeping those elbows bent is a great way of softening through the shoulders, but circling through the breath. Seamless breath. Let's take another 3 breaths here. You can always rest. Coming all the way down to the exhale, hands back to heart center this time, and laying the palms down. Feet coming back and towards each other. Seamless breath. And if there's any intuitive movement that you need to take to ease tension anywhere, please go ahead. From there, rooting to rise, coming down into the spine now on the inhale, drawing the hands back towards the pelvis as the shoulder blades come towards each other, heart opens. On the exhale, pushing down through the feet as we send the fingertips towards or on the knees and round. Inhaling, open through the front body, that extension. Exhaling, flexion. Lifting the chin on the inhale, finding length through the back of the neck. If you wish to take it up through the cervical spine on the exhale, chin down towards the chest. And great place to stay right here, circular breath. If you want to add on, we're going to bend through the elbows and take the knuckles in front of you as if you're on a bicycle. On the inhale, we're going to draw the elbows back as we extend. On the exhale, as we round, pushing the hands forward, creating circles as if you're holding on to a pole, inhaling and exhaling. Now, this is obviously a whole lot more work as we get the arms involved, a whole lot more work through the spine, through the core. And so, adjust and adapt this movement to suit you. If you are working with the arms, which is optional, of course, at the end of the next exhale, we're going to pause and take that round in the opposite direction. So this time, the inhale, we're drawing the elbows round and back, down, and then forward. And this might feel very different this way. Those circles can be nice and small if that feels the best in your body, or you can allow those to get as big as feels right for you. Maybe you want to play a little bit in between, one a little smaller, one a little bigger. And let's take 3 more. I've got a squeaky chair here. Seamless breath. Last one here. And on that exhale, we'll pause and come back to center. Rooting down to rise. Big breath in. Exhale it out. Nice and steady. Beautifully done. And then from here, you're going to take the hands cross it over through the chest. You can even interlace those thumbs if you like. Lifting the heart up in through the palms, and the crown of the head is reaching. This is the inhale. On the exhale, that belly button drawn in and up. The breath is that seamless Ferris wheel breath. This is the inhale. On the exhale, we're tipping to one side, inhaling to center, and exhaling over to the other side. Now this is not a very big movement. So keeping that steadiness through the pelvis, length through the waistline. The crown of the head is reaching up towards the ceiling and off towards the right, towards the top right ceiling, and towards the top left. So rather than kind of collapsing and going as far as you can, losing that connection down with one side, just nice steady movements. Heart is lifted, chin can draw in, so the back of the head is kind of sliding up and down that imaginary wall and behind you. One more either side, getting that full flexion through the spine. Seamless breath. And that next inhale breath, we come all the way up and release. Any tension, go ahead. Any tension, release any tension. And then we're going to take the hands towards each other. And then one arm on top of the other, either palms, wrists, forearms, or even elbows. And then roll the shoulders back and down and allow the elbows to separate as much as you need to find that openness through the collarbone. And from here, we're going to start to create circles in front of you, mimicking that Ferris wheel breath. Now those circles don't have to be very big. Heart is facing forward, so the movement is first of all through the arms, rotating through the shoulder joints. Great place to be right here. Keeping the heart facing forward. To take a rotation into the spine, starting to allow the heart to come with you. As we start to rotate, the gaze can stay forward, down, closed eyes, or you can take the gaze from one side to another. Your pelvis and legs are steady and stable. Allow those movements to get as big or as small as you like. And then when you're ready, starting to bring the heart back to center. And if those movements got really big, we'll allow them to become smaller so the spine is neutral. And then we'll pause. Whichever hand you had on top, we're going to take that in the opposite configuration. Roll the shoulders back and down, wide collarbones. And we're taking those circles around in the opposite direction. And again, rotating through the shoulders. That stability comes from the weight of the arms and the steadiness and smoothness of the movement we're creating. Option to stay here, or option to start to slide the shoulders forward and back as the heart comes along with you. Inhaling and exhaling. As big or as small as you like. We've got another 3. Rest if you want to. And on that last one, we'll come all the way back to center. Arms come down and release them. Any kind of intuitive movement that you need to. We'll take those palms towards the front, rotating the shoulder blades towards each other, and palms come up. So we're taking a rotation all the way through, from the shoulders all the way through to the fingers. That's the inhale. On the exhale, turn the palms down, back behind you, maybe even up. So we collapse through the collarbones as the shoulder blades draw away from each other. Inhaling and exhaling. Excellent place to be right here, especially if your arms are feeling fatigued, then please stay. Otherwise, you can raise your arms to whatever height, no more than shoulder height though, as if we're twisting in and out light bulbs. Let that rotation rotate from the fingertips all the way through the shoulder blades. And let's take 2 more. Rest whenever you need to. And from there, we're coming all the way down. Hands resting. Big breath in. Exhale it out. A couple of breaths just like that as we check back in with ourselves, noticing how we're feeling, what's on the mind, and then noticing how your physical body is feeling and if you need to make any adjustments. And as we do that, we'll take the feet a little bit wider. It really is squeaky, huh? So rooting down through your feet. Ankles more or less under your knees so you feel stable. If you need the support behind you, please take it. Otherwise, coming forward. And we root to rise. Big breath in. Exhale it out. And then Ferris wheel breath, nice and steady. Inhaling maybe from the pelvic floor up to the crown of the head, and exhale, allow the breath to slide down the back of that circle or down the back body to the pelvic floor again. The inhale is always that lifting quality. The exhale has a quality of letting go, of grounding and softening. Regulate and steady that breath. The fingertips resting inwards towards the legs or on the arms of the chair. We're going to rotate through the lower ribs, inhaling and exhaling. Smoothing and steadying. Get the shoulders, the head, the neck involved, the pelvis. It can be as big or small a movement as you like. Allow it to be an intuitive movement. And then when you're ready, we'll pause and take that round in the opposite direction. Smooth it out as best as you can. Circular breath. So 1 cycle of breath to 1 rotation of the ribs. Get the shoulders, the head and neck involved if that feels good for you. As much fluidity as you can find here. Let's take 2 more. And at the end of that exhale, when you're ready, we'll come all the way back up to center. Big breath in. Exhale it out. Ferris wheel breath as we bring the legs back into each other. And a little rotation, knees side to side, windshield wipering those knees, releasing any tension through the hips that may have built up. Coming back to center, regulate the breath. And as you're regulating the breath, in a moment we'll get up and I'll meet you down on the floor, on our back, knees to the sky, feet to the floor, bringing with you anything you need for the end of your practice and for relaxation, extra blankets, pillows, or layers, and I'll see you down there. Here we are down on the earth, and we're going to come all the way to our back, making sure you have any extra support or softness that you need underneath you to be comfortable. Knees to the sky, feet to the floor, so the feet are firmly planted. Pick up your hips and send them a little bit closer towards your heels so we find that length through the spine. Soften the gaze or close the eyes. Option to draw the shoulders back and down, snuggling the shoulder blades just a millimeter closer to each other. So we get this broadness across the collarbones and the shoulders feel heavy. And from here, coming back to that sense of support underneath your body, allowing your body to be held here, so releasing any tension and tightness that you may not have noticed that has crept into your body. And then we start to come back to that steadiness, that Ferris wheel breath, the inhale coming up, maybe the front of the body, the exhale down, or just creating that circle in your mind of the breath being steady and smooth. And that regulates the nervous system, reducing the stress response, giving you resilience in the nervous system. So the more we do this steadiness of breath, the more when we're off our mat and the world's getting a little fast or busy around us and we're feeling our nervous system activated into the stress response, we have tools to steady that nervous system and allow it to come back down and activate the relaxation response so we can balance everything out. With that steadiness of breath, we're going to draw that right knee in towards your chest and circling through the ankle. Always a good practice to do every day, getting that steadiness, that quality of control through the ankle. We'll pause and take that in the opposite direction, slower than you think. So one circle to one cycle of breath. There might be some snap, crackle, and pops in there, no big deal. That's why we practice. And then we're going to take a little flex in that ankle as it comes back to stillness. Right hand to right knee, drawing the right knee up towards the sky so the right arm is extended. From here, we're going to circle through the hip joint so the knee draws the circle in the air. Keeping the pelvis as balanced as possible, and there will be a rocking, of course, as the weight comes in and out of the knee. If you do not need that hand on the knee, you can take your arms in a cactus or a T. If you want to, and it feels okay for you, you can extend that left leg out as you circle. Those knee circles can be as big or as small as you like, depending on if your hand is supporting that knee or not. Getting that range of motion through the hip. And then next time the knee comes up towards the chest, we'll pause and take that round in the opposite direction. Big or as small as you like. And what we want is that steadiness, that Ferris wheel breath, guiding the movement through the hip. Rest whenever you need to. And then when you're ready, that knee will come up, back into the chest. If the left leg is extended, we're going to take that foot to the floor, knee to the sky. And then take a few breaths here, those Ferris wheel breaths. Releasing that right knee, extending the leg up towards the sky. Now you can keep a nice bend in that knee or reaching through the heel. Getting into the back of that right leg. Spread the toes nice and wide. This is the inhale. On the exhale, keeping the belly button drawn down to the earth as if you're kind of smushing your lower back into the mat. Keep that connection on the exhale as you draw the heel down, long leg towards the mat, until you come to the point where you feel like that connection of the lower back is not as firm, and then we inhale back up. Exhale, draw the heel down, and maybe it's a little, and we inhale up, or maybe that heel comes a little further down. Never connecting, hovering, but we're keeping that belly button drawn down.
using the weight of the leg to strengthen through the core. On that inhale, depending on the back of the right leg, maybe those toes come up a little closer towards your nose, or maybe they don't. Knee bent straight, whatever feels good for you here. Next time, that leg comes all the way up to the sky. We're going to bend through the knee and cross the ankle on the left thigh. Ankle pushes into the thigh to widen the right knee, and that thigh can push back into the ankle. Great place to be right here, keeping that connection of the belly button drawn down towards the mat. Option to stay here, option to lift the left foot. You can take your hands to the in and outside of that left thigh, behind the knee, in front of the shin. And we're coming in to thread the needle here, breathing into the right hip. Ferris wheel breath. So imagine that inhale up through the front of the body to the crown of the head, or through your circle, and exhale it back and down. Regulating that breath with different shapes of the body. Now to add on sensation, if you're feeling that you're not, the sensation is ebbing away and you want to add more, the breath allows it, you can take the entire shape just a few millimeters over to the left side. That'll change things up in the right hip. Keeping that belly button connected down to the earth. Option to release that grip if the left hand is holding, and then left knee up towards the sky, arms in a cactus or a T or down by your hips. Left heel up about knee height, and we're pushing the outer ankle, right ankle into the thigh, thigh into ankle. Belly button's drawn down towards the earth. If it's popping up, please bring your knees a little closer to your heart, and we stay here 3 breaths. Wherever you are, making sure that breath is that steady Ferris wheel breath. Staying for the last breath, last exhale. And when you're ready, if it's not already, the left foot comes down to the earth. Release the right leg and take it all the way down to the earth. Left knee draws in, give it a little hug in your own time. Ferris wheel breath as we cycle and circle through the ankle. One cycle of breath to one circle of the ankle. And then we'll take that in the opposite direction. The control comes from the slowness of the movement, and that's where we build strength, stability, and awareness. And then the next time the ankle flexes, we'll spread those toes, keeping it there. Left hand to left knee, and the knee comes up towards the ceiling, extending the left arm. And from there, circling through the hip joint, so the knee is drawing circles in the air. Great place to be right here. Right arm can be in a cactus or a T to steady you. Option to extend the right leg out long, and if you don't need that hand guiding the knee, then there's no need to keep it there. Getting that full range of motion. One circle, one cycle of breath, nice and slow. And regulating that breath, we'll take another 3 here. Take rest when you need to, always adjusting and adapting things for your body. And the next time the knee comes up, we'll pause and take that round in the opposite direction. Nice and slow. Ferris wheel breath. And then we'll take 2 more here. Next time that knee draws up into your chest, we'll keep it there. Bending the right knee, foot plants back down on the floor, and we extend the left leg up towards the ceiling. Now a nice bend in that leg, or reaching through the heel, toes come back towards you as you spread the toes wide. This is the inhale. On the exhale, keeping the leg as extended as feels comfortable for you. Belly button drawn down to the earth, so we're imprinting that lower back. Keep that imprint there and lower that long leg. And as soon as you come to a place where the belly wants to pop up, then that's where you stay. We inhale back up to center, exhaling down. Keeping that belly drawn down to the earth, keeping the breath steady. Maybe those toes come a little bit closer towards the crown of your head on that inhale, using that right foot to steady you. One more here. And the next time that knee comes up, or the leg comes up, we're going to bend the knee and take the ankle over the top of the right thigh. Great place to be here. Ankle pushes into thigh, thigh pushes back, and we open up the left hip. And maybe this is where you stay. If you want to, and it feels okay with the breath, you can still keep that steady pace. Elevate the right foot, taking the hands to either side of the thigh, underneath the shin, underneath the knee pit, or in front of that shin. Keep both feet flexed here, protecting the knees. Breathing into the left hip. Ferris wheel breath. And so ironing out any places of the breath that feel choppy or less smooth as best as you can. Again, this is everything we're doing is a practice. We just turn up and we try. Not comparing it to anyone or what happened last week. Option to stay here with that grip if you want to, keeping the belly button drawn down to the earth. We release that grip. Right knee draws up towards the sky. Left ankle pushing into the right thigh pushes back. We've got that dynamic tension as the belly draws down, the breath is steady. You've got 3 breaths here. Maybe that right ankle comes up to knee height or is lowered towards your seat. If it's lifted, obviously it's adding weight. Strengthening through the core, keep the breath steady. Stay for the last breath, and then that right foot comes down to the earth and releasing the left leg. Big breath in, exhale it out. Nicely done. From here, there's a couple of different options you can take. Drawing the knees in towards each other, giving yourself a little hug. You can even take the knees wide here, rocking and rolling from side to side. And the option is to come into happy baby or modified happy baby. So knees go wide, you can hold on to the knees, stay here. Or flexing the ankles, take the feet up towards the sky. Knees coming to the outside of the ribs. Hands can be on the thighs, outside of the shins, ankles, or coming up towards those feet, depending on the length of your bones. Great place to stay, happy baby. For those of you who would like a little more core, we're going to drop the belly down towards the mat. Hands in a kind of diamond shape, so spreading the thumbs. We're going to take them underneath the pelvis and set the pelvis down. For a lot of us, this is going to be uncomfortable through the shoulders. If that's the case, then happy baby is the place for you, or another movement that feels good. If this feels sustainable for you, shoulder blades drawn towards each other, shoulders back, chin drawn in, we're going to take the legs up towards the sky. Nice bend or reaching through the heel. And we breathe, Ferris wheel breath. Now keeping the belly button drawn down to the earth. That's super important here. On the exhale, we're going to drop the heels away from you, only as far as that belly button draws down. As soon as you want to arch the back, then you've gone too far. That's the exhale. On the inhale, we're going to draw the heels up towards the sky. Maybe the toes even come a little closer towards the crown of the head. Exhale, belly button drawn down, and we're taking the heels away from us. Inhaling, back up to center. Now we've done this one leg at a time. This is both legs together. It's obviously a whole lot more weight. Inhaling and exhaling. Option to keep pulsing. With that belly button drawn down towards the earth, option to extend the heels away from you and stay. 3 breaths, Ferris wheel breath. If you can't keep the breath steady, then draw those heels a little closer towards the ceiling. Go inside, meet the challenge with that breath, that steady breath, staying for one last exhale. And when you're ready, toes come up towards the sky, release the hands, draw the knees down into the chest. And wherever you are, if you're in happy baby, we're going to lower the heels and just rock and roll from side to side. Coming back to stillness. Dropping the feet down to the earth, taking the feet as wide as your mat, arms in a cactus or a T or down by your hips. And we're going to wash the knees side to side here, keeping the pelvis on the earth. To start with, if this feels good, then stay. If you want to add on, we're taking the knees all the way to one side, opposite hip lifts. Any SI joint issues, keep the pelvis rooted to the earth rather than lifting through the hips. And the last option to bring this twist through the cervical spine is to glance away from the knees. And when you're ready, we'll come all the way back up through center one more time. If there's any last movements you want to finish off your practice, go ahead. You can stay here in constructive rest, ankles wide, knees in towards each other, or take your relaxation. On your back, maybe support underneath the thighs like a bolster. Maybe starfishing it out on your side, on your belly. If there's a more comfortable place for you to rest, then please go ahead and do that. Settling in, adding extra layers if you feel chilly. And settling into wherever you've chosen your relaxation to be. Doesn't have to look a particular way. There is no wrong way to relax. It's different for each and every one of us, and it changes every time we come to it. So when you're ready, settling in to being held here, noticing that support underneath you, and allowing your body to rest deeply into it. And take your awareness through your whole body, from the soles of your feet and tips of your toes to the crown of your head. Imagine, sense, or feel your breath coming from the soles of your feet
And draw it on an inhale up through your legs, your torso, to the crown of your head. A brief pause at the top, and exhale that breath all the way down the back body to the soles of your feet. Circular breath. Inhaling up, filling up with breath. Exhaling that sense of letting go and grounding, sinking deeper into the support underneath you. Imagine, sense, feel, or visualize that breath in a circle. Every exhale is an opportunity for your body to start to relax and release. Ready, in your own time, release the breath entirely, so it becomes the softest, easiest breath you can find. No control. Release the visualization of that circle, the cycle of breath. Allow your body to sink deeper into the support underneath you. As every moment passes, allowing yourself to find more and more ease. Physical body to rest even deeper, releasing tension. Allow your emotions to soften and feel a little further away, a little more distant, as you allow the mind to ease. Maybe watching those thoughts as if from afar. And expanding your awareness into this moment. Past your mind, your emotions, your body. Expanding it fully and completely. thoughts or emotions to dissolve as quickly as they arise. Stay for as long as it feels good for you. When you're ready, if you wish to finish your practice, starting to take a little deeper breath in when you're ready. Exhale it out slow and long. Starting to take more mindful breaths as the inhales fill your body with energy, inviting it in all the way down to your toes, your fingertips, filling up to the crown of your head. And exhaling like a soft sigh, keeping that sense of quietness, of calm within, as you awaken your body in its own way, small, soft movements, or staying where you are for longer. Your choice. This is your practice. If you wish to move, allowing your body to invite yourself to shift in your own way, maybe stretching wide or long. If you're on your back, maybe the knees come to the sky, wash those knees from side to side, or curl them in towards your chest, rocking, rolling all the way to one side if you like, and taking a few moments there. And then deciding where you would like to finish your practice today. If you are not still resting and want to stay longer, then coming to a place that you would like to complete your practice. Taking your time, easing into everything as you find yourself connecting down to that support underneath you that's always there. Rising from there, hands in a gesture of closing that suits you today. And take a breath in, and on an exhale, soften or lower or close the eyes. Chin down towards your chest, and a gesture of going inwards. And bring with you into your days and weeks ahead in this busy season the tools that you've gained here today, feeling more resilient as you move forward. From my heart to yours, thank you for joining me today. Namaste.